Good afternoon, YouTube. It's Trucker Todd here again, and we're going to talk about something today that is a little out of the norm for me. As some of you may know, my father is real into space and good grief, my tongue, space exploration and things like that. The History Channel. That's not really my bag. I don't spend a lot of time thinking about space and stars and aliens and things like that. But today we're going to hit that topic. And before I go any further, this has been a real positive week. I've made, over the last few weeks, I've made a lot of friends from this channel. And I've got a lot of positive feedback through email and phone calls. And I just want to thank everybody for watching and hearing what I have to say. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe my videos. For those that are new, I had some questions about how you do that. Underneath the video there will be a deal that says subscribe. If you click that, a few seconds later a bell will appear. Click the bell also and you'll receive a notification anytime I do a video. Also, to the left side you'll see a thumbs up and a thumbs down. If you'll give me a thumbs up, that will show YouTube that you're interested in what I'm doing, and it will make my videos appear in the suggestion for others too. Also, next to that there's a share button, and you can share my videos on Facebook or Instagram or all your other social media platforms. So if the subject I'm covering today interests you and you think it might interest others, I would encourage you to do some or all of those things. Now let's jump in. What's going on right now is a deal, and it's been going for a few weeks. I've kind of stayed out of it because, like I said, normally this is not something that interests me. But a few people have asked my opinion about it, and the more I talk about it, the more everyone seems to be interested. So this guy gets on Facebook and, as a joke, puts a video out that says on September 20th, everyone should meet at Area 51 and they should raid the base to look for aliens. Now, I took some notes this time because I wanted to make sure that I got all my facts right and that I explained this correctly. To totally understand what this is about, we need to have a quick history lesson. And I'm not big on history either, but here we go. In 1947, in Roswell, New Mexico, something crashed there. Now, you have to keep in mind this 1947, we didn't have 24-hour news cycles like we have right now. And so Orson Welles had a radio series come out that talked about the end of the world, aliens attacking. It came out about this same time. So they have a mysterious crash in Roswell, and everybody assumes, oh no, Orson Welles is right, here come the aliens. The government said, hey, it was a weather balloon. Now, personally, I don't believe that either of those things happened. I believe that we had just come out of World War II. It was 1947, and I believe they were testing aircraft. World War II, we had been very successful with our Air Force, and I believe they wanted to expand the Air Force. Now, I'm not getting into the debate of if there's aliens or if there's not aliens or if there's life on other planets. Personally, I'd say it's possible. I mean, it's a vast expanse of outer space and anything is possible. So I'm not saying either way on that. But let's jump right back into the story. Nellis Air Force Base is in Nevada. It's about 156 miles northwest of Las Vegas. The nearest town is Rachel, Nevada. All of this is where Area 51 is supposed to be. It's also been called Homey Airport, and it's also been called Groom Lake. At this date and time, there's a lot of tourist attractions in that area. Stuff you can buy, aliens and little alien statues and cups, and they've got, you name it, they've got it there, alien related. The restaurants are themed that. There's even an good grief, my tongue is not working. Extraterrestrial Highway is one of the highway names, and you can barely read the sign now because so many people have put stickers on it. Okay, so A lot of people believe that these supposed aliens that crashed in Roswell, New Mexico are now at Area 51 and they're doing experiments on them. Well, the problem with that is that was 47. This is 2019. That was, what, 70 years ago? 72 years ago? Even if they're correct, if everything they say is true, the aliens would have been experimented on for 70 years. We do not have the technology to keep something from decomposing for 70 plus years other than freezing. And they wouldn't be able to do experiments if they had froze the bodies cryogenically. So even if there was aliens there at one point, the odds of them still being there, probably not. If they're keeping them alive, what condition would they be in after 70 years of imprisonment? So more than likely it's not there. It's kind of like, it reminds me of people that said they saw Elvis. At some point you have to accept Elvis is gone. If Elvis was still alive, he would have probably died of natural causes by now. So the same is true here. Even if you believe there was aliens there in 47, they're probably not there now. Secondly, you've announced to the government that on September 20th, you're going to raid this place. Now, the reason I hadn't commented on this prior to this is because I thought, oh, they'll come to their senses. They're not go. They won't go. Well, I overestimated humanity. On Facebook right now, there's over 2 million people that have committed to going. All the hotels are booked for those days. All the campgrounds are booked for those days. Even if half of those 2 million show up, you're going to have 1 million people trying to raid an area that's about 25 miles from side to side. Now, getting there is just half the battle. This is in the middle of a desert. Let's say that you're Rambo and you get there. Okay, it's 12 and a half good grief, this is horrible. 12 and a half miles to the center of this base. Okay, across the desert, no cell phone signal, no water. Let's say you're Rambo and you're going to get there. Let's say all 1 million of you are Rambo. Okay, you've got 1 million Rambos that show up at the border of Area 51, and they're going to all raid it together. The first thing you're going to encounter, and I'll explain it this way. When you go to like a Naval Harbor, they have 3 levels of security. They have the initial security where you get to like the barracks and stuff like that. Then the next level of security where you get to like what you and I would call operations. And then the third area is the most secure area. If you're trying to get to a submarine, even if you made it past the first 2 levels, you're going to have thousands of sailors there that are going to do whatever they can to stop you from getting on one of those submarines. Well, Nellis Air Force Base is the same way, Area 51. The first thing you're going to encounter if you got past the initial guards is loudspeakers saying, turn around, go back, you're trespassing, you shouldn't be here. If you got past that, the next thing they have is microwaves that will knock you to the ground. Even if there's 1 million of you, it will knock 1 million people on the ground. Now, you have to also think 1 million people, there's 2 saying they're going. Remember, we're cutting it in half and saying if only half go. You're going to have people get trampled, stomped on, and if any of them aren't in Rambo physical condition, you're going to have dehydration issues because you're going to have to walk 12 and a half miles. But let's say you get past the initial guards, the initial microwaves, and you're ready to proceed. They know you're coming. You've announced you're coming September 20th. They're going to shoot you or arrest you. Now, some people have asked me, well, why don't we just send a bunch of troops there to protect the base? You have to have special clearance, even as military, to get on this base. But I suspect that they will grant special clearance to protect this base. I've heard some on the internet say, well, it's government property and I pay my taxes and I have a right to be there. No, you don't. It's just like you can't spend the night in the White House if you want to without a presidential invitation or something like that. You can't just go there. Every country in this world has their own Area 51. What do I believe is really at Area 51? We'll get to that. But that's where we're at right now. It's going to be a mess. There's going to be a lot of conspiracy theorists that get arrested or hurt. And I would just persuade anybody that's thinking of going there to not go there September 20th. I would recommend going there at a later date. There's a lot of restaurants in the area. You can get some great souvenirs, but don't try to go on the base. Don't get hurt. Don't get shot. Don't get arrested. Now, what do I think's really there? Well, one thing you'll notice, Nellis Air Force Base, Homey Airport. I believe that it's where they test upcoming aircraft, secret weapons. One thing you got to remember, all countries have their Area 51 where they test their secret military things. And we're no different. This is just a place, White Sands, New Mexico, over by Alamogordo is another place where they test missiles. They call it a missile range. That's no big secret there. New Mexico and Arizona and Nevada has a lot of vast land with nothing there, and it's a great testing facility. I believe at night, Nellis Air Force Base, Area 51, if you want to call it that, tests aircraft and secret weapons. I believe some of it happens underground, and I believe some of it happens above ground. And that right there would be reason enough to want to keep it protected like they do. Now, some people have pointed out that when Obama was president, we let some Russian officials onto this base. And that appears to be true, but I can guarantee you the Russians didn't see anything we didn't want them to see. And the same's going to be true with September 20th. Even if you got past everybody and made it to the base and went through the warehouses, they know everybody's coming. They've moved everything. And it's not worth it. People have made a career out of this alien thing, and we should take it like horoscopes and just laugh at it and have fun. Enjoy the jokes about aliens and ET and all of that, but don't get yourself arrested or killed over it. And I'd be curious to see what you guys think about it. Email me or leave a comment below. And like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. And most of all, thank everybody for watching. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.